modification we did to the Alfine DI2 to make it accept a Gates carbon drive. Basically, we added a rubber O-ring to increase the space here so that the belt doesn't rub on the motor unit. So I'll show you where we put that O-ring and some suggested maintenance for it. We start with the 17mm cone wrench and we'll take the motor unit off. Yep. That lock nut holds the motor unit on. This lock nut here this lock nut is responsible for holding the rotary part of the shifter together. You can see two tabs here. The lower one, the motor unit actually turns. The second one keeps the motor unit from turning itself. The seal plate comes off next. That just has 4 pins that rest here. There. So here's where we put the O-ring. And there's already an oil seal right here. So this is the sealed part of the system. And our O-ring sits on top of it. And the shifter mechanism sits right on top of that. So basically we're increasing the space there. And the motor unit rests about 1 millimeter further outward than designed. So you can align this. There's a pair of red dots on the shifting ring. There's a pair of red dots on this piece, and they should align with each other if the hub is in first gear, which it should be for you to service it. Since these two parts rotate against each other, this is a place we might see some wear, and this needs to be tight enough that oil doesn't leak out too tight and you won't be able to shift the hub. So a way you can check is by moving this ring by hand. Shifting effort on this hub is actually pretty light. Make sure you leave it back where you found it, and this goes on. This lock nut will be tightened against the one above it, the one that holds the motor unit on. So you can leave this wherever you want. Too loose and you'll have an oil leak. Too tight and there'll be too much friction for the hub to shift. What we're looking for is for that O-ring that went in there to be smashed until it's about 1 millimeter thick. A little bit of trial and error here. I would tighten it up a little bit. Check the shifting effort. Just in that half turn, tighten up quite a bit. Motor unit goes on next. You'll feel it click into the splines. And this lock nut holds it on. The other visual check for having that lock nut in the right place is there should be clearance between the belt pulley and the motor mount. And that's the whole point of putting the O-ring there. And this lock nut is upside down, I think. No. This is locked to about 10 Newton meters. And that's that. This should be checked after about 1,000 kilometers, and if it's in good shape, that's great. Continue checking it when you change the oil. That's every 5,000 kilometers according to Shimano. If you see any oil leaks, then this needs to be tightened or replaced, and hopefully it works.